Hi, it's Matt from Go Green Autos. So here we have a Citroen C-Zero. It's a late 2012 car in really nice condition. As you can see, it's in pearlescent white, which is a pretty rare colour. In this daylight you wouldn't really notice it was pearlescent paint, but when it's sunny, the sun does sort of pick out the sort of purpley green metallic fleck in the paint. And if you don't know these cars, they're actually a Mitsubishi. It's a Mitsubishi i-miev with a Citroen badge on it. They're made by Mitsubishi in Japan, and the same car is also sold here as a Peugeot Ion. So these are the sort of earliest electric cars in the UK, the proper factory made electric cars with lithium ion battery packs. So obviously ones before, but they tended to be conversion type vehicles or lead acid battery vehicles. So these came out with the Mitsubishi badge in 2010, and then as the Citroen or the Peugeot models in 2011. So being the earliest electric cars, they're also the cheapest electric cars, and you own the battery on these outright. There's no lease payments like there are with a Renault of a similar age. So let's talk about the car then. So this is done 35,000 miles. It's in really nice condition. So I'll show you the charging first. There are two charging sockets or ports on the car. This is your AC connector, so this is what you would use at home to charge on a wall charger or a 13 amp plug. I've got the charger in the boot, and it's sort of overnight charging. Not sure quite how long it takes, probably 4 or 5 hours, something like that. And then on this side is your CHAdeMO 50 kilowatt rapid charger. So this is what you'd use on the roadside and typically the motorway network, in motorway services and things where you get the ecotricity pumps, and this would charge the car in about 20 minutes. So certainly get to 80-90% in 20 minutes, and then that last top up does take longer, so you tend to charge to 80% then carry on. And then while we're talking about chargers, let's just open the boot. And then here we have the charging cables. You've got your type 1 to type 2 charging cable in there, and this is your portable charger. So as you can see, we can charge there on a 3-pin plug. These only draw 10 amp. You can't draw any more than that constantly on your home wiring, otherwise your wiring will get a bit hot. So it does take longer, but it will always be charged overnight. But they're handy to keep in the boot because it means you can charge the electric car anywhere where you've got a 3-pin socket, you can get a charge. So well, let's just show you inside. These are quite a narrow car, being a Japanese K-class car. Only seats 2 people in the back, but really nice condition. The sort of marks you can see on the seat there, it's just the velo, it's just the pile, it's where it's been brushed. They're absolutely pristine. It's like it's never been sat in, to be honest. Let me just show you the back again. While it is a sort of small car, it certainly doesn't feel small when you're in it. And the seats do lay completely flat, and it's huge. If you want to load stuff in, it is absolutely huge in the back. It's a very practical car. It is quite a high lip here because the electric motor sits under the back there because it is rear wheel drive, but it is nice and flat, which cars aren't nowadays. And it's very good if you want to do that sort of run to the tip or something. And then just briefly, we'll look at the inside in detail in a minute, but very nicely spec'd car. And these are really easy to drive. They're very simple display. The windscreen comes down very low, so you've got great visibility, and they've got incredible turning circle, and you can spin around in roads. And obviously being that little bit narrower, nice and easy to park. So they're great as a first car. Certainly the elderly like them. They're very easy to drive, and you've got great visibility. And being electric, very simple, no gears, very light steering as well. So the purpose of my videos, as you've probably seen, is to describe the condition. I'm very honest about the condition of my vehicles because most people just buy them from the video and then I deliver the vehicles to them. Saves them coming to view because I deliver these all over the country, and there's obviously a lot of travel involved, and it's not very easy to obviously come and view the vehicles first. So I point out any little negativity with the car, every scratch, nick or chip, so you know exactly what you're buying, and then hopefully then you don't need to come and view, and I'll just deliver the vehicle to you. So firstly, I have put new tyres all round, so it's got 4 new tyres, nice quiet tyres as well. The wheels are in nice condition. I've also just serviced it, so I've put new brake pads on the front. It had the originals on. The brake pads last a very long time on electrics, but they were getting a little bit grabby and they weren't particularly smooth, so the brake pads weren't worn, but it certainly benefited having some new ones in. Also got a new 12-volt battery up front. That could do with being changing. You tend to change those on these cars about every 5 years, so that's been done. And in the rear there, I've also changed the oil on the gear reducer, a bit like a gearbox on the back axle where the motor is reduced down to the speed of the back wheels. You've got little gearbox there, and change the oil in that. That needs doing every 6 years, so that's done now for good. It's also got a new cabin filter on the air conditioning as well. So everything's been done. Apart from that, really you don't need to service electric cars. Once they're out of warranty, you just drive them. Oh, and I've also changed the brake fluid as well. You tend to do that about every 3 to 4 years on these. So that's all done. So now you've got many years of maintenance-free motoring. There's no servicing needed. The normal annual service that you would have done on these if they were still under warranty, they actually just changed that pollen filter in the dash, and obviously I've done that anyway. So now you just drive these. You obviously still need an MOT test, but that's pretty quick because there's no emissions to check. So an MOT is more about checking your tyres, your suspension joints and that sort of thing. So obviously you still need to do that, but apart from that, you just drive it. So let's start here and show you the condition. Actually, we might just be able to see there the metallic fleck coming through. Alloy wheel there is in nice condition and new tyres. There's a couple of little stone chips. There's a couple of little chips there on the back of the door as you obviously knock things when the door gets opened. The worst thing on this car is a dent here. For some reason these Peugeots and Citroens always have dents along the top of the doors, but that might pull out, but it's got a dab of paint there in it. And that's really about it. There's some minor scratching on the mirrors, which you'd expect. That alloy is pretty good as well. This is just dirt from where I've just washed them. Minor grazing along there, but really minor. The front is all good. That front bumper clearly has been painted at some point, but you'd sort of expect that on a vehicle of this age. Again, new tyres on the front as well. There is a bit of grazing on this alloy, but pretty minor really. Is that a scratch? Yeah, a fine scratch there in the paint. That may improve with a bit of polish. Very fine scratching on the back of the mirror, but nothing to worry about. And then down this side, there's very little to point out, apart from there was a chip here. I have dabbed a bit of primer and top coat on there. I've yet to put the lacquer on. I'm just waiting for that to harden. And there was another one round here. Oh, it was on the edge of the down there. A little bit of paint I put in there. Again, these are just stone chips. They're nothing to worry about. And then that back wheel is faultless, and obviously new tyre. And then round the back, there's just sort of age-related crack in the paint there on the bumpers. On the bumper, should I say. But really, everything that you would expect to see really on a car this age, it really is in nice condition. So the rest of the bumper's all fine. It's not a crack in the bumper at all, it's just a crack in the paint where the bumper's flex. So yeah, and I've shown you on the inside there, the seats are down. Seats are in great condition. These seats do adjust as well, so you can change the angle of the seats, and you've got electric windows all round. And I'll just take my bit of paper out protecting the carpets. This will have carpet mats. I've got them coming, but they haven't arrived yet. It will have new mats fitted. So for now I'm just using a bit of paper, and door cards are all great. There's a bit of scratching here on the armrest where your arm sits, because these are hard plastic So there's nothing to absorb the knocks and bumps. So they always do scratch and wear on there, but that's pretty good actually for a car this age. And the rest of it is in really nice condition. So on the inside of this car, so we've got a single slot CD radio here. It's also got Bluetooth, so you can connect your phone up to it. We've got climate control. We've got a USB socket down there. We've got a 12-volt socket there. Your driver's cup holder is here in front of the gear stick. The gear stick, you've got part reverse neutral drive, so you drive it like an automatic. Electric cars don't actually have gearboxes, so you know, normally electric car, this is just really a switch. In this case, on these cars, it is actually a mechanical linkage to the drivetrain on the back axle. And then over here we've got a cup holder there for the passenger, decent sized glove box, and we've also got you've got a storage compartment there, and you've also got a hidden compartment up on the inside, which is quite good if you want to hide your mobile phone or something. And we've got electric mirrors and electric windows. The mirrors are also folding, so when you blip the key, the mirrors automatically fold in. And we've also got automatic lights on these, so the lights come on and off automatically. I'll just turn the car on, you turn the key like a normal car, and you get this bleep and it says ready. There's obviously no noise or vibration or anything, you just have to look for the ready light and the car is on and ready to go. So here we've got the mileage. It is 34,965 miles. So very simple dash. You just have your speed in the middle. This is your economy meter. So as the needle moves around, you're using power. If you're driving economically, you want to sort of keep it in the green. And then when you lift off the accelerator and you're coasting, you get that braking effect, so regenerative braking. So the electric motor effectively turns into a dynamo and immediately starts putting power back in the battery, and that's shown when the needle drops down into the blue. So that effectively increases your range. It means you slow down without touching the brakes, and your brake pads and brake discs last ages on an electric car. The other thing you want to know is about range. So these cars in the summer sort of do 70 to 80 miles and sort of 60 to 70 miles in the winter. Obviously this is an older car and you would expect some battery degradation, but we're on a really cold day today. It's bitterly cold out there, and the range, well, it was showing 64 miles, it's dropped to 63. So we can see here that you know, it's still got full range. That's sort of what you would expect in this sort of temperature. It's about 1 or 2 degrees outside, and obviously as you get into the spring and the summer and the temperatures warm up, then that range will increase. So the range is spot on. As you've probably seen on the website, all my vehicles also include the free installation of a home charger, a 32 amp Rolex wall charger. That typically takes 2 to 3 weeks to get installed, but obviously in the meantime you've got that 3-pin charger that's in the boot there, so you can charge the car on a normal 3-pin plug. And so yeah, this vehicle is ready. So if you're interested, then you're welcome to come and view and try it. But if you're happy with what you've seen on the video, then let me know, and let me know your address as well, and I can deliver this anywhere in the country.